Hey guys, it's Corbin, and I'm gonna go over some of my favorite new yaois that I got while I was at Anime Expo. And the first ones I'm gonna go ahead and talk about would be Vampire Portrait by Hiroki Kusumoto. Probably said the name wrong, but don't kill me. I'm bad at pronouncing everything in life. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go over all the nitty-gritty things and tell you what it's rated. I'm gonna go ahead and read just what the actual little back bottom part, because there's two paragraphs, one that tells you about the story, and I kind of want to tell you my own interpretations rather than reading theirs, and reading the bottom portion, which is actually the summation of how they catch your eye. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and read the first volume first, and tell you what I think of it, and then we'll read you the bottom of the second one, and we'll go over exactly what I think of both of them together as a whole. Vampire Portrait blends brushstrokes and bloodlust into a thrilling tale of art, jealousy, and innocent love. Amateur painter Lao surrenders his apprehensions and falls prey to the powerful vampire, Sen. But Lao is quickly pulled into a sticky web of betrayal and heartache when rivals for Sen's affections appear around every darkened corner. In order to capture Sen's heart, an innocent artist must push aside the canvas and decide whom to trust, whom to fight, and who will ultimately destroy him. Now, the first book I didn't buy at Anime Expo, and I'm happy I ordered it. I really am, because it made me feel a little better about the story. Now, in the first book, you end up meeting Lao, which is, of course, the bottom boy. And he's very pretty, he's very nice, he's a painter that the vampire meets in the middle of Paris and wants him to commission a painting. Now, the storyline goes fairly along the standard romance, boy meets boy, and they end up falling for each other. It's kind of one-sided at first, until we find out a creepy section of the past where the vampire Sen actually was in love with Lao's grandfather. Now, the story is really, really good. This one reminds me a lot of a young Vampire Lestat and Louis kind of reference, if you know Anne Rice. And I really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. Just the first one. Now, it ends on a cliffhanger where we end up meeting Sen's brother. And it ends on a really big cliffhanger that I'm not going to give away because I think you should get it and read it. Now, this book is rated 18+. It is for mature audiences only. And after I read the second back and tell you a little more, then we'll talk about what I really think it should be rated and my overall opinion of both books. Now, the second book was the one I actually bought at Expo, and I'm going to tell you right now, if I had just read this one and I hadn't read any of the reviews on this one, or bothered to look for it, I probably wouldn't have gotten the first one. This one leaves a little bit to desired, but we'll go more into that after I read the back. Vampire Portrait goes for the jugular and taps into a throbbing vein rich in passion, intrigue, and violent sibling rivalry. Young Lao never quite knows how to please the valiant and gorgeous vampire Sen, especially when his rival Adam seems to beat him at every opportunity. Meanwhile, Sen's vindictive brother, Valoran, is hellbent on forcing Sen to share his own painful fate. Will Adam and Lao join forces to save the ailing Sen together? Or is there any room for one man in the vampire's lair? I'll tell you, it's this one that actually, in a weird way, made me not like the book. It's really good, it's action-packed, it's drawn gorgeous. The artwork is really good. The artist is very talented. What it lacks in the second book is the romantic connection for me. You do get it. I mean, Lao goes to hell with Sen in this one, and it's very heartfelt. And it is very obvious they do care for each other, and the artwork is amazingly gorgeous. But what kills it for me is that there's never a finite answer to yes, they love each other, or no, they love each other. They end up together in the end. And yes, you do know they love and care for each other, but I guess I just didn't get that strong kick of, oh yes, they're in love. Now, in both of these books, they talk about how a vampire needs both blood as well as other bodily fluids, and it raises a very interesting perspective on how transformation happens in the vampire world within the manga series. It's only 2 books. I wish there was a 3rd one, because I'd love to know what happens after the whole brother thing, because I want a better romantic ending. But it's really good. They're both rated 18+, and the truth is, I can't see how that's really too viable. There's only maybe one part in each book where we see a little bit of a questionable scene involving a mouth and other genitalia, but it's not explicit enough to warrant that, because we see more than that in a PG-13 movie. And I'm not quite sure, but it is definitely one I wouldn't necessarily say no to a 16-year-old reading. But that's my call. I don't have kids, so that's up to the parents. Now, both books together, well worth the read. Separate, just get the first one. The second one, hit and miss, you can live without it. It's very standard. There are tons of yaoi loopholes, which I'm going to abbreviate to yaoi holes. Now, for me, romance conquers all. This one kind of keeps along with that theme. So I would recommend it, to be honest. And I'm not going to do any readings out of it, because there's nothing that great besides hearing about how much Lao loves Sen, and how he slowly becomes obsessed just like his grandfather did. But besides that, you guys, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's not getting a 5 out of 5 because there wasn't a strong enough romance in the second book to really seal in that they're forever in love and together. Because it's good, but it didn't push it to a 5 for me. So I hope you guys liked the review, and if you guys have any questions, anything like that, leave it in the comments below. If you guys want to have your parents really message me and find out exactly what the explicit scenes are and what pages, and maybe I'll send like a photo link so they can make a judgment call, I'll let them know. But overall, it's not a bad book. It's really good. I paid $4 for this one and $5 for this one, so in total I spent under $10 for 2 yaois, and that's actually pretty good. Alright guys, I hope to see you later. Like, favorite, and subscribe. Bye.